What is going on, everybody? It is Fitz and the Skyline back here with another video. I finally have everything back and in my garage that I need to put this thing back together and get it back on the road. If you're not familiar with what was going on, I found out the wheel bearing was bad after my axle popped out, and then I did a rear wheel drive swap, whatever, delete on the Skyline. Now it's time to put it all back together since the wheel bearings are replaced, and we're just gonna dive right into this. So the first thing I'm gonna try doing, because this is always a pain in the ass, is trying to put this upper control arm through whatever this is. So we're connecting the top of the control arm to what would connect to the top of the knuckle. We'll go from there. Now that I have this bolt through, I'm connecting the coilover. I had to take it out to get this bottom bolt on, but this way it'll all hold up and support the hub so I can get the rest of this back together. So all I'm doing now is putting the top of the coilover bolts back in, and then I will tighten the coilover onto that arm. Got those two bolts tight. I'm gonna wait to connect the link in case I need some extra wiggle room to get the rest of this stuff connected. Now I'm gonna toss the hub onto this assembly and then put the caliper on and work on the rest of the bottom arms. This nut on the top of the knuckle, bottom of the knuckle, whatever, is a 22. Now I'm gonna be doing this for like the next 10 minutes. So I will see you guys when it's done. Next, I'm putting this lower control bolt on, and then I'm gonna impact it for 2 to 3 seconds. But first I gotta get it started. All right, that should be plenty tight. Now what I'm doing is connecting the inner and outer tie rod. I've never messed with tie rods before, so I'm just putting them together. I don't know if I have to adjust it. I don't know if what the toe will be like, but did you guys hear that? There's somebody just shot flames out on the highway. But anyways, I'm just connecting them for right now, and if we get it on the ground and it needs adjusting, we can do that. One thing I figured out for the tie rod is Mike and I had to modify them, so all the way in is straight, and then put the locking nut on it. We should be good. I can worry about the alignment in the future, like when I get it on the ground. The last thing I'm tightening up here is the sway bar link, and it is 2/14. Torque to spec. Now I'm gonna throw the caliper on. It's easy, just slides over the studs. Like that. And as you guys can see, this is loose right now, but the wheel bearings are just fine. All that's going on is that when I put the end of the axle through here and it sandwiches the knuckle and the hub and everything together, it will not have any play in it. So that's going to be one of the last things we do, but now we're going to put the caliper on. Fun fact about me, I've never actually done brakes. No brake changes, no messing with the calipers, pads, brake lines, any of that. So I was pretty clueless to when it came how this worked. It's actually really simple. The way my caliper is designed, it just slips over the rotor, and then hopefully you guys can see there's 2 caliper bolts that hold it on, and then the rest of these little bracket bolts that I'll put in. We're running out of nuts and bolts on this side, which is good. Which is very good. Anyways, I'm putting the second caliper bolt in up here. Put the rest of the bracket bolts on. Check it over, see if we missed anything, and start on the other side. So this side is all finished up. And I put the axle, the end of the axle through this, but I need that piece. And what I learned is I don't need to cut the axle. I don't need to cut it right here. This should just come apart. So what I'm gonna do is put that in the vice grips, or that in the vice grips, and just hammer away until these 2 pieces separate, kind of just like this one did. I'm gonna set this up, start filming, and go ham. Oh, of course I wasn't filming, right? That worked really, really well. As you guys can see, this is the piece that's gonna sandwich together. All I did is set it up like that and just smacked it with the sledgehammer, and we are good. But one last thing, well, I'm gonna clean this up first, but one last thing I have to do before putting this together is compare this outer axle seal with the ones that came in. Let me go get those. Here they are. Clearly this is a broken one, right? This little ring is messed up. It's bent in there, as you guys can see, compared to this one, which is just fine. So these are gonna work great, and I'm actually super excited on putting this back together. How this goes, I don't know. That looks right, because that's flush, and that other rubber gasket on the other side is good. I'm gonna take this other axle apart, and then we can ratchet this into the hub. All right, so that piece I was just showing you guys is right here. Then you push it through, and it's splined. Put the washer on. Gonna put the nut on, and then, okay, well, after I put the nut on, I'm gonna ratchet it down. This side will be all good to go. All right, well, I've sat here for probably 15 minutes or more trying to thread on the axle nut, and it just will not thread on. So I think one of the threads on this is messed up somewhere, so that's why it's not going on. I have no idea why it won't go on. And then I was like, okay, let me try it on the other one. Try screwing on the other one, screws right on. I was like, all right, you know, I'll just hammer out the other side of the axle. And this piece of shit vise just came right off the table. It has just been such a wonderful past hour. So I'm gonna call it a night before I throw an axle through my back window or something stupid. I did great. I did great getting the whole assembly together. But just trying to tie it up, just did not want to come together tonight. So decided not to just give up and quit tonight. I still don't have a fix for this, but at least I can put the other knuckle hub whole assembly back together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna film any of it. I'm just gonna go knock it out, listen to some music, and just actually enjoy working on my car. But I filmed enough of this side so you guys know what's going on. I'm doing that on the other side. See y'all when it's done. Well, boys, I will show you where I wrapped it up for tonight. I'm actually very glad I didn't go inside, because now I don't have to do this later. This side is basically back together. All the arms and in are tight. I have to get a couple more little caliper bracket bolts and whatever that bolt is right there. If you know what that thing is, please tell me. I don't remember seeing it on the other side. I have no idea. This is where I'm gonna call tonight, and I will see you guys another day. It is the next day. I found out there was one little bolt missing down there, and then this one right here goes in there, but I can't bend the hard line enough to get those to line up to put that through. So I know where that one goes. I don't know. All the big stuff is in. Hopefully that thing's not important. Now I gotta try to separate the threading axle. Let's try to take that apart and see what we get. Holy shit. Okay, so after like 10 minutes maybe and some blood, we got the piece off that we needed. Hopefully I didn't damage the threads like the other side. That was my mistake. Before, I was holding it up like this and hitting it, and then I think it fell and hit the ground. I mean, this just has dirt on it. Should be absolutely fine to thread on. I set it up in this tree and then just started hammering this bottom part to try to separate the top part, and it worked. So we can take this little boot off and clean it up and see if the threads work, which it should. I gotta clean this. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Give me just a second. All right, so I'll just show you guys here. This is the one from last night that I couldn't get started for my life, right? Because I think some of the threads are messed up. This is a new axle seal. Took it off the one that's not working right now. Slides right over like that. And this one just threads on so nicely. So we will officially have one side done when this is in. Axle nut in. I held that bitch down for like a good 5 seconds, just do after it had stopped moving, so it's more than fine. The cottering pin is in like well enough, and I'm curious to see if one of these wheels, my new wheels, will fit over that front caliper without a spacer, because before I only had the 25 mil in the front. If it doesn't fit, I have 8 mils in the back that I don't need back here, so those can go in the front, and then we'll be just fine. But I'm gonna wash my hands first, and then we're gonna toss this on the front of the car. So these wheels have an offset of 23, and I needed like 25 millimeters to fit over the calipers. Oh, okay. Well, damn. Can't run center caps. What the fuck? I don't know. I'll figure it out. That looks pretty good though. That's gonna come down nicely. And I'm gonna fix all these little imperfections in the paint and stuff in the future, but I'm gonna get it driving first. Well, boys, I think I've decided to go with the 8 mil in the front. 1, so it won't be so close to the caliper, and 2, so I can run the center cap. Regardless, we've gotten a lot done these past 2 days. Keep in mind, this is camber in the air, so it'll tuck so nicely right in the top of the wheel well. I reset the upper control arms just as close to stock as I could be, so it's stock uppers and extended lowers. When I take it in for the alignment and have them adjust the height and the camber and all that stuff, I'll have them dial that in for me. I'm very satisfied where I got this thing in a matter of 2 days. Initially, I was kind of scared of like starting to do this, and we got a lot done. So this is where I'm gonna call it for this video. This has been Fitz Miller in the Skyline back here, and we'll see you guys in the next one.